What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back here with another video. When today we're going to be talking about Gear 19. And after we've unlocked the Red Devil himself, Mephisto, where do we put the Gear 19? I've seen a lot of people asking who's worth it after you've done kind of your essentials for a Dark Dimension. Obviously, you have you've gone for some cheap options in Dark Dimension. You'll see I did take, probably down towards the bottom here, I did take Ravager Stitcher to G19 because of gear reasons. He's super cheap, one-piece tech, so not the best option at all. Big Time Spider-Man, I did take him for DD7 because, again, he was cheap. Once again, not the best option at all unless you're super into war, but even then, But yeah, we're going to be talking about who we should take to Gear 19 after you're done with Mephisto, what you should do with that massive influx of gear that you get. Once you complete your first and second runs, you're going to get a lot of catalysts, a lot of origin gear, all that stuff you need. And is it worth it to really backtrack it all, or should you just look forward to the future? So, you can see here, I did do Spider-Man Noir. I did use him on my Dark Dimension 7 run because he was only 2 pieces of Mystic, and he was well worth it. I have no regrets about this whatsoever. Noir is a great character. He's seen a lot of uses in Cosmic Crucible. Spider Society is a great team, so I got no issues with that. Obviously, Mephisto himself. I took Apocalypse for my first run of Dark Dimension, obviously. Lady Deathstrike, I did put Gear 19 on her because her stats are absolutely ridiculous. She is a raid team, right? So you probably don't need to do this. But I did because she is a fast character at 127 and does a lot of damage, a lot of bleed damage, all that kind of stuff. So I think the Orcus team is going to be pretty good outside of raids as well. Obviously, Lady Deathstrike is part of that Orcus team. And her damage and her just usability, viability, it really depends on her stats. So I did pull a 1 diamond on her. I'll probably end up putting a 2nd diamond on her and might pull the trigger on a 3rd diamond if I see she's doing really well in Cosmic Crucible. Obviously, we had the tournament and saw that she was doing pretty well. Next up, Nightcrawler. He was my first run. Nightcrawler's a no-brainer. Next up, Peter B. So I didn't take any of the Spider Society for my first run of Dark Dimension, but I definitely recommend Peter B. would be your first G19 on the Spider Society team, and then Penny is a very close second. I'd say probably like 1A and then 1B for these two. These two were absolutely awesome. Amazing use in War right now with the season going on. Amazing uses in Cosmic Crucible because they are essentially the new Infinity Watch with how resilient they are. And the new CC rules really work in their favor, which is awesome. We did leaders, so we'll talk about all of Cabal. Cabal, I did all of them for my global run, so I did Cabal, Nightcrawler, and Black Knight. They were great. Cabal, I love Cosmic Crucible, obviously. For those of you who don't love Cosmic Crucible as much, you can think about starting to take the Orcus team to DD7 because they're going to be the newest tech team. Tech raid team as well, so you could think about taking all of them if you really want to, but that's a lot of tech gear like I talked about in my other video. Kang is a no-brainer. Absolutely take Kang up. I used him in my Cosmic run as well. He's ridiculously good. Take him up absolutely immediately. Green Goblin, he was absolutely useless in Dark Dimension 7 because it was the Old Man Logan show in Legendary, but he is pretty good at G19. Still a powerhouse on defense and offense in Cosmic Crucible, so absolute necessity. Super Skrull, yeah, obviously, duh, you're going to be taking him to Mythic. Black Knight, I've seen a lot of people not wanting to take Black Knight to Global lately. You're going to take Black Knight. Black Knight, you can't not have a G19 Black Knight if you're really starting to push in War, in Cosmic Crucible, all that kind of stuff. Black Knight is just the gift that keeps on giving. Old Man Logan, once again, a no-brainer in DD7. Same thing with Robbie, a no-brainer. Now, Gambit, I did not take up into my global run because I did not have a lot of the mutant gear to take up all of the extreme members. But I have not been disappointed with Gambit at all. We have seen for the last, I think, 3 or 4 seasons ever since their release that extreme is absolutely disgusting in Cosmic Crucible. Gambit with those out-of-turn pings doing massive damage. His ultimate hits like a freight train. Stack deck, he's hitting for piercing as well, so he is ridiculously strong. You'll see his damage here. Still 207,000, but that's obviously before the new meta after Ares. So Gambit's a great choice as well. Again, I took Cabal, so I already have Iron Patriot. Kestrel's a no-brainer from Mythic, even though she does next to nothing in the Mythic nodes. She's your next best option, and she's super cheap. Namor, once again, Cabal. Mr. Fantastic. That's right. I took him to G19, and I do not regret it. Now, I will say, if you are running low on bio gear, I would say, obviously, take up Gore and Gladiator first with your bio gear before Mr. Fantastic. But listen, man, Mr. Fantastic hits pretty hard. He's pretty good. Since we're talking about Illuminati, we'll go to Captain Britain here. He's Mystic. He's a great choice as well to take up after your Dark Dimension runs. I've heard he's done pretty well in Dark Dimension. Him, Hank, and Shuri have done pretty well in Global, so that's a definite option for you as well. I have not tried it myself, but it is an option. Kraven, he's on Superior 6, Longevity, Cosmic Crucible. I took him to my City team as well. He's great in War. They're awesome. Again, Forge, same thing as Gambit, massive. He's another linchpin of the team with Gambit. So G19 was kind of a no-brainer on him. I also realized I had a lot of mutant gear left over. And then I kind of thought to myself, hey, we're getting a tech team next. Then we're getting a mystic team for the raids. And then I don't know what's coming next, but it's not mutant. So I got plenty of time to build some mutant gear. So I took him up as well. Void Knight I did take for my Cosmic run. You can definitely skip this one. I just took Void Knight for my the Dark Dimension run because he was bio and took Alien Spores, so I took him. Black Cat, I took the Legendary, but she's a great G19 usage. Same thing with Eternals. I took to Cosmic, but if you didn't take him to Cosmic, I would say don't bother G19ing them. I would say save that Mystic gear for newer characters coming out, like Captain Britain, who should get G19. Dormammu, who I still haven't taken yet. Characters like that who take a lot of Mystic. Next up, I did take Lizard as well. Again, Superior 6. They are incredible in Cosmic Crucible. Incredible in War. They get a lot of uses, and I just absolutely love this team. Like, I love the Superior 6 team. So Lizard did get G19 after my Dark Dimension runs. Rogue was one of my least favorite characters to put G19 on. And ever since I did, I have not regretted it one bit. Rogue is an absolute brick shithouse in Cosmic Crucible and just tanks everything. And if you are stuck on a Safeguard taunt for 6, 7, 8 turns in a row, it is invaluable. So Rogue is absolutely nuts. I definitely recommend taking her up with some of your mutant gear along with Forge and Gambit because she, with the Extreme members, are absolutely ridiculously good. Next up, I took Vulture for my City team. Vulture was cheap, but also I use Vulture a lot in War and Cosmic Crucible. So I really like taking up Vulture. I do not regret that pick at all. Even though he is an economical pick for Dark Dimension, he's still also great. Nova, I took just for Legendary. Honestly, I don't see any difference of Nova at G19 compared to G18. You'll see I haven't even put the red stars on him. I mainly used him because he was a Legendary bio. I had extra bio gear for DD7. That was about it. Cyclops, this was stupid. I got greedy and wanted to see my number on my Extreme X-Men just get larger, so I took up Cyclops. Don't do this. Don't do this. You're better off taking up like North Star, who's also mutant, up with this gear. Don't do Cyclops. Don't do what I do. Again, big time Spider-Man utility pick for DD7. Thanos Endgame is the future with Annihilators, and they're a great team. So day one, the second he got unlocked, took him up. Hank Pym also took him up as well because, you know, I love Cosmic Crucible. They're also pretty good in War now that this passive on spawn apply speed up to 2 turns for self and all Illuminati allies goes to all the game modes now. So they're a lot better in War. So they're really useful in War now. Again, Annihilators, G19, they're great. They're arena meta right now. They're really good. The bigger you have them, the better they are. They're also they should be your first picks for Dark Dimension 7 now as well. Instead of doing like the Eternals and Void Knight, I would say do these 3, Kang, and then Ravager, Stitcher, Magic, literally a 5th that's just going to stand there and get you in quicker. Shuri, once again, I would say do Shuri after you do Captain Britain with the G19 gear if you have it, because they're both Mystic. But Shuri's a great pick too. She does ridiculous amounts of damage. She's at 224,000, but she gets an extra 50% damage from her passive. So she is extremely, extremely good. And then next up, I did take Doctor Doom because Doctor Doom is awesome. He's still got use, guys. Like, his kit is just not dying. It's still taking people for the ride for 3 turns in a row, and it's so, so good. He is invaluable in some fights, and it's getting to the point where you have to have him at G19 or he's just not going to survive some of those big hits from a lot of the characters that we're getting with those stat reworks, including, you know, Super Skrull getting G19, potentially Diamond soon. So Doom just needed to get bigger. He's also two pieces of tech and 2 pieces of mystic, so he's split, so he's awesome as well. I took him for my Dark Dimension 7 run as well and did not regret it at all. Next up are going to be the choices who I would go with next. A lot of people have been asking about Scientist Supreme. I don't see the point of it personally because Scientist Supreme is pure kit based. The only thing that gets better with her stats going up is her max health, obviously, and then that affects her heals on her special and her ultimate. But even then, I don't think it's worth it, honestly. Again, if the Orcus team turns out to be ridiculous in like Cosmic Crucible and it has some good uses in War, then maybe I'll pull the trigger. But 3 pieces of tech, I'd rather use it on the newer characters that are coming out that are on this team as well, instead of using it on Scientist Supreme. Silver Surfer, don't do it. It's a waste. Ultimus, also don't do it. It's not a waste, but I don't think it's worth it given the Mystic team that is coming for the raids. The Night Stalkers, I'd say save your Mystic gear for that to be able to put G19 on them because lately, raid teams have predominantly been good in Cosmic Crucible, raids, and War, so I'd save your G19 gear for them. Deathpool, I really want to take up Deathpool, but again, I am really, really holding off for that Mystic Night Stalkers team instead of putting gear on Deathpool, so I am waiting. Spider-Man Pav, I am going to take him to gear 19 the second I can. I am just missing this one piece. Maybe if I hit find and it's in here? No? Okay. But I will take Pav up as well. I have 3 diamonds on him. I have 3 diamonds on Peter B, 3 diamonds on Penny. I'll be taking all of the Spider Society members to G19 except for probably Ghost Spider. And I might do Ghost Spider, but I am running a little low on Bio Gear after taking Gore and Gladiator up. There's another pick I might want to take to G19 for Bio. Black Bolt, not worth it. He's 4 pieces. Definitely not worth it at all. I don't think he's worth DD7 either. Cosmic Ghost Rider, he's Mystic as well, so I'm being really cautious with Mystic gear. Also, he takes Miasma, which is a highly contested unique, but once you're done with DD7, uniques are really not the issue anymore. Next up, we got Firestar. She'd be an okay pick. Doc Ock, my heart tells me yes, my brain tells me no, because he's 5 pieces of tech. He also uses the same piece as Pav, so I'm not going to do it. I'm really tempted to do Spider Slayer, but Lord have mercy, do I want to make sure I have enough tech gear for Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, and the other one, I can't remember her name. Leave it down in the comment section below to remind me, because I'm stupid. But Spider Slayer is another dream pick, because I love Superior 6. Dorm, again, I'm saving Mystic gear. Vol, absolutely don't do until Vol gets a full-blown rework. Vol is not worth taking just for Dark Dimension 7. Period, plain and simple. Cosmic gets wiped by Kang and the Annihilators. Vol is not needed. Vol is quite useless. Dawkins an okay pick for Mutant gear because he's got a lot of war potential in Cosmic Crucible. But again, I might because I do have a diamond on him now. So that's a potential. Everything else, kind of meh. I would say Red Hulk would be the only other horseman I'd take up to G19 because of his uses with APOC. So here, his special fill speed bar for 1 random Apocalypse ally by 15%. So that could make Red Hulk last a lot longer in the meta. So you see that power couple of Red Hulk and APOC being used in a lot of Cosmic Crucible counters. So that could be a definite good reason to put Red Hulk up to G19 just to make sure he's surviving a little bit. Because without Abomination, he does not have great health stats. 2.4 million. That's terrible. But yeah, so that's another decent pick. But everything else, kind of meh, boys. The only other one I'm really debating is Sasquatch, because we did get a diamond on him from the Alliance event that we had. Also, he is a quintessential pre-taunting tank. And the best part about him is he keeps refreshing his taunt over and over and over again if he's over 75% health. So you can't just bring in a Zemo and just take that taunt off with his passive. You gotta flip it and put a disrupted on it. So it takes a lot to get through this. And the bigger he is, the more of a nuisance he is. So I'm extremely debating taking him up to G19. But again, I am low on bio gear because of that Gladiator and Gore combo that I just took up. So I might hold off a little bit just to wait to see what's coming in the future. But I think that's going to be it. Maybe you could put it on North Star. Ares, I don't think needs it unless you're super far in, like super balls deep into war. Again, Undying, unless you're super balls deep into war, I would say only do Zombie Juggernaut, because Zim obviously doesn't need stats, and Hela's just there to spread negative effects, so meh. And then everything else below this, don't you dare touch. I haven't even put a 7th Red Star on Star-Lord Annihilation because he's terrible. But yeah, that's going to be my suggestions on who to take up to G19 once you're done with Mephisto. First and second run, your priorities for the future. So I hope you guys learned something from this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, MSFers.